All right, so we are live and good evening. I hope that you're here with us. Thank you for joining us. It is our single parenting masterclass, and we have in our studio our awesome, amazing guest. Our guest is an amazing when I talk about sharing on single parenting, a lot of people came to me and said, you're going to share about single parenting and all of that. And I said to someone, I said, if I'm going to share about single parenting like I did on a Tuesday class last weekend, I was sharing from a book knowledge. There's something I love about parenting. I usually would say that my journey, I love to share about parenting with experience. And that's the best place, really, to actually share from. All right. The person we're bringing to you is not just someone who has all the certificates. When we say all the certificates, we actually mean all the certificates, right? She's a psychologist, studied psychology to a master's degree, practices psychology. And not just that, she's actually been able to work with women, work with single parents specifically, and she has been a single parent in her life, all right, before. I'm going to allow her to tell her story herself. I'm sure she's ready to give it to us, boss, like Nigerians will say. So we have the amazing Coach Eitai already in the studio. And I want to say thank you to everybody. We're sharing this session to tell you that there is what to do even as a single parent. It's okay to say, oh, single parenting, oh, people share all the statistics like we've been sharing and all of that. But the single parents are asking. So we know all of this happen. The tendency to actually have children who are this, that, what else can we do? I'm sure you are asking that question. So that's why we are bringing you the amazing Coach Eitai. And she's also the creator of the course, the academy where she runs the Single Parenting Academy, where she also teaches parents through the process of raising children alone. Join me as we welcome Coach Eitai in the building. Thank you, Matt, for being here.
Hi,
It's so
Wendy.
awesome having you. Coach
Thank you.
Eitai is the founder of Whetstone Coaching, and she's also the founder of Inspire Women Now, where she teaches women and coaches women. She says that she's called for women, all right? And severally, we've seen that, manifest severally. So Coach Eitai wears many caps, and like I said, I'm going to let her talk about the many caps that she wears right in this masterclass. Welcome, ma'am. It's good to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Wendy. It's always a pleasure. Always a pleasure to be here. Good evening, everyone. And it's beautiful that the Intentional Parents Academy is considering the single parents because, I mean, there is an increase. I mean, there have always been single parents, but there's an increase now in people parenting alone. And many of those people really feel lost. They don't quite belong into the parenting fold. They feel challenged, and so this is really awesome. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So I'm going to have you right in the studio. I'm going to sit in the background with my pen and paper because, hey, I am also here to learn about the single parenting and all of the things that we will be learning right here in the studio today. Thank you, ma'am. And welcome. If you're just joining us, this is Coach Eitai, and please make some noise right in the comment section. We want to see your emojis. Put on the best emojis that you have right in that comment section so that you tell us that you are here. Remember that in TIP Academy, we love the fire emojis. As Coach Eitai is speaking, you get something that resonates with you or something that you haven't heard before. Just get into the comment section and put the fire emoji for us. We love it. We just love it. And also remember to take screenshots. As Coach Eitai is speaking, please put screenshots, take screenshots, and share on your social media handle, tagging Coach Eitai. Remember, this is free, but what you can do for us is to publicize the facilitator. Tag Coach Eitai, tag the Intentional Parent Academy, and tell us something that you're learning here. Do not forget to take screenshots as these conversations go on. Remember, we love the screenshots. You can also share the screenshots write in the WhatsApp community. But most importantly, we want it out there. We want it on social media. We want to tell the world that single parenting is also a thing, and that is something that we need to consciously learn. Welcome again, Coach. And I'm out of the studio. You have
Thank
the
you.
floor.
I was just going to say, I was trying to share my slides, and it's a little bit challenging. Wendy,
Okay.
what do I do in this situation?
Okay. What are the issues that you're having, ma'am?
When I ask it to share, it wants to share my screen, but my screen is only showing the StreamYard. So what I want to share is a PowerPoint presentation. I can teach without it, but
Okay, so wait, no, it's okay. Where is the PowerPoint presentation on your system? Is it
yes,
open?
on
You
my
need to
system,
open it.
it's open. Yes, it's open. It's open.
Okay, when you share, when you open to share, when you click on share,
Yes.
it's going to bring you entire window or Chrome tab.
Okay.
So if you are on entire window, entire screen, please go to the window. If you
I
go to the
tried.
window,
I think that I did this happened yesterday actually. I think that the Mac has a different way. So let's go
oh,
ahead. Let's not delay.
okay,
I have
okay,
to you know me now. I will go to the class. Don't worry. I'll go and
okay.
learn. The next time we're doing StreamYard, I know that I've shared before, but I don't think I was using the Mac that day. But let's
Okay,
just
we can also, you can also share with me, and then I will
cool.
project for you
Okay. So
while
that's
you're
fine. Do
teaching.
that.
Yes, ma'am. So I'll be waiting for it.
Okay, cool. Do you want me to share it on WhatsApp?
Yes, ma'am.
That's faster, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, doing so. Sorry, everyone. One moment.
So sorry, just give us a few moments, and
So I had closed WhatsApp, so I'm opening it.
just give us a few minutes so that we can get this done, so that you can have this conversation where you can sit. Remember that that is very, very important.
Okay.
All right, that we actually have something that we can look at. All right.
Alright, cool.
And
Okay. Done.
please,
Sent.
you can just say a hi if you're just coming in. This is the single parenting masterclass happening live on the TIP Academy. If you have other parents who are single, you can invite them to also come and watch this session. Please know, we don't know about replay, so please be here. We'll be very glad that you're here. All right. So we're going to project this presentation for you, so that we can have an amazing conversation. I'm personally, particularly looking forward to,
Okay.
all of the conversation today. So we have a PowerPoint. I'm going to project it as soon as
Okay. Cool.
this uploads.
Excellent.
Yes. But you can start while I
Yes, I'm
work
going to
on this
start
in the
now. I'm going
background.
to start now. So
Go
I
ahead,
mean,
ma'am.
people always say that I portray single parenting like it is glorious, like it is, you know. So I'm currently co-parenting myself. I've been separated a while now, and before then, I was a single parent for 12 years, and long ago when I was much younger. And I find that the mindset. So let me tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Eitayo. I'm a certified IT project manager. Basically, what I do is project management and organizational development and HR. However, my psychology and life coaching practice is at the core of my life. So, you know, when I say what I do, then I said my life. And the other day, I put a post on LinkedIn to ask why we say work-life balance, as if work is not part of life. And it was very interesting, the kind of feedback that I got. But I am intentionally separating it because when I work with women and with single parents, it is my life work. This is my dream and vision is that we have a generation of children who do not have to suffer because their parents don't understand something or because their parents did not get the kind of support and help that they should have gotten when they should have gotten it. So when I run the Single Parent Transformation Academy, one of the first things I say is, if you don't fix yourself, if you don't fix your mind, and this is not just about single parents, it's about everybody, about every adult. If you don't fix whatever it is that is the challenge you have, you cannot parent properly. If you are parenting alone, which is how I like to call single parenting, if you are parenting alone, then it's even more challenging. And I'm just going to cause more trouble, a little bit more trouble, because I remember that there was a post that Mute put on TIP group, and it elicited, so much negativity. And I was thinking there are some misconceptions, and when Wendy shares the slides, I'm going to show you a few misconceptions that we have about parenting alone that is disturbing us. So my name is Eitayo. I'm glad to be here. Excellent. Thank you, Wendy. All right, we can start. So I'll tell you a little bit about myself. So Wendy, slide 2. Are you rolling the slides? Yes, she is. So that's a picture about me. I've already told you about myself. Now, I'm a mother of 3. I have 3 boys, 30, 16, 12. And they are doing amazing. And like I said, I'm co-parenting. So that's a journey, and you'll get there. And I'm sure you will after watching this. So let's start from Wendy, is it shifting? I can't see it moving. Let's start from common misconceptions that we have about single parenting. And I just want to, put a needle in the bubble for many of us. So first of all, you cannot be father and mother. So single parents are not trying, they should not be attempting to be both parents. You can be a very good father and a very good mother, but you are not father and mother. And this conversation, and excuse me, I want to talk particularly to the mothers now. This is single parenting masterclass, and I'm talking to fathers and mothers who are parenting alone. Let me just digress a little to the mothers. Now, because you have found some kind of comfort over the years in saying, look, I am a father and a mother to my children. And we say that almost to the children's detriment without realizing it. So the first bubble I want to burst this night is that you can be father and mother. Men and women are not the same. We are very different, and we are made different. We're created with a different mindset, different way of thinking. Yes, you can train, and of course, if boys live with their mothers, they may end up acquiring some of the patterns, the thought patterns of women, but we generally don't think alike. And so the concept of being father and mother in the situation where you're parenting alone is not a healthy concept. I'm being careful. Don't worry. I am one of you, so don't take it personal. It's not a healthy concept, and it can actually be detrimental to your capacity to parent. And I'll tell you the next thoughts that I've had about the misconceptions that we have. That I can run the home as if there are 2 parents. Another misconception. It has put a lot of parents in trouble, a lot of single parents in trouble, because they're trying so hard to be the other parent as well. They're trying to make the child not miss the fact that one parent is miss the fact that one parent is not there. That is not necessarily healthy for the child either. Another common misconception is that I can do it alone. Look, in fact, I meet a lot of single parents who tell me, Coach, you are saying what? I don't sleep. At 4 a.m., I'm awake. In fact, and I'm awake until 1 a.m. I do everything. These children, they can never miss the other parent, whichever one it is. I get this a lot from the women more than the men. You cannot. Even when there are 2 parents, it takes a whole village to raise a child. That's the common saying. So this concept that single parents must be hustlers and they must always be struggling, In the long run, what now happens is that when the children grow up, these single parents who were doing it so excitedly suddenly starts to want the children to pause their lives or turn their lives around because they feel that they have sacrificed for the children. So in the end, it is not a healthy place to be. Single parenthood is not struggling. You need a network of support. You need people to support you. If you need house helps, get house helps. If you need your relations to come and stay with you, by all means. If your mother needs to come and stay with you, please recognize that the concept that you are struggling is not something to take pride in. It is actually detrimental to your health. And if you are not healthy, then you cannot parent at all. I mean, never mind whether you're single or you're parenting. Some other people think it is single parenting or nothing. This man or woman will not have access to this child. I am going to take the children away from them. So it becomes a vendetta. I heard recently Yeni Kuti say that children are not chattel. They are not stock. You don't trade them. They are not luggage. They are not bags. They are actually human beings. So when you struggle and you fight and you try to own the child, that is not healthy. So these misconceptions are things that people have told us for years. Single parents can do it themselves. I am very strong. You don't know me. I am man and woman. It's not true. You are human. One gender. You can be a very good mother. You can be a very good father, but you are not mother and father. Let's just get that. Single parenting means hardship. It's not true. So we tell ourselves these things and then we put ourselves into a mindset that is always feeling um, negative, always feeling chanced, as they say in Nigeria, always feeling as if the world has left us behind and everything is unfair to us, and we dawdle along. That is not the way, because your emotional health is affecting those children and you are the only parent that those children are seeing. There are many reasons why parents must seek their joy. Single parenting, when you're parenting alone, you have to be emotionally stable. Parenting as two, when there are two parents in a home, it is challenging enough. When it's only one parent, it is so important that that one parent takes their own assignment as seriously as possible and acts accordingly. So all these unhealthy misconceptions, you need to get them out of the way first. So no. One parent doesn't replace the other, and therefore father becomes father and mother, mother becomes father and mother. No. And not all single parents are mothers. There are fathers who are parenting alone for whatever reason as well. So every time that we talk about single parenting or parenting alone, women take it quite personal. That itself is unhealthy because it feeds the societal, and we're going to talk a little bit about what the society is doing in feeding these misconceptions and making you very unhealthy in the mind. So, having talked about misconceptions, I want to talk a little bit about how your parenting, so we always think that parenting is about us, as in, we are the ones doing the work. And so, if, for example, if I'm not feeling good, then I'm shouting at everybody, and everybody just has to agree that I'm not feeling good right now. Now, a lot of parents, for example, come back from work and they are in a very cranky state. They transfer that cranky state to the child, irrespective or without consideration for what the child has been through to that level, to that point where the child is. And that is a challenge in itself. So when you see situations where, so parenting is about the child having a good experience, having the best experience and the best opportunity to grow. So it must not be, it should not be that we look at parenting as if we are, for want of a better word, struggling against the tide. And so many parents come to me now, and that's how they feel. They feel like, look, Coach T, this thing is not working. Coach T, these things you are saying, I'm not sure it works like that. It does work like that. So you have to recognize that childhood is thrust upon a child. Just get it. The child didn't choose to come. Childhood was thrust upon the child. Parenting most of the time is by choice. And yes, I do understand and I respect those who become parents by rape or any other non-consensual way. But the parent had a better choice system. They had a choice. The child had no choice. So childhood is thrust on the children, but parenting most of the time is not thrust. I mean, just think about it. All parents have, at the minimum, about 6 months. Let's even say that the baby comes early and all that. You still had some time while the baby was in the stomach to do some kind of mental, preparedness. But for the children, parenting for them or childhood for them was thrust upon them. So when you look at this already, you know that so the child requires attention. And the parent is, if the parent is not healthy, then the parent cannot give the child the attention that the child so much, requires. It's so necessary that the child has that. So when we talk about single parenting, it can be a thing of joy. It is actually possible for single parenting to be a thing of joy. And I have this image. I don't know if Wendy has been able to get the slides up. She hasn't. So I got this image. I found it online. So lovely. It has men and women all parenting alone, really happy. It can be, I want to encourage you that parenting alone can be a thing of joy. And the joy comes from you resolving whatever the issues are that you have and making sure that you can move forward. So one of the issues that a lot of people talk about, I see many single parents, is that societal pressure is a problem. Now, I'm not going to tell you that societal pressure is not real. Societal pressure is very real. And I've grouped it into 3 groups, and I like to use these 3 groups a lot. The first is perceptions from religion. If you are parenting alone, you're a bad person. It's just, I can't even put it in any other way. If you are parenting alone, you are a bad person. That's it. You made a mess of your life. Even with widows who didn't choose to parent alone, the society still has a stigma attached. They attach a stigma to parenting alone. So there is the perception from religion. Then there's the perception from culture. There are cultures where they will tell you, once you go out of that door on your wedding day, you cannot come back. And so if peradventure something happens and you are parenting alone, you cannot have support. So it becomes pressure. You might not even be able to show up in some celebrations. There's some places you might not be able to go because you are parenting alone. And this in itself is a big challenge. So there's perception from religion, there's perception from culture, and then perception from society in general. Let me tell you the little ways, the little nuances that you notice about perceptions from society. The first one is that school, on the PTA day, there are very few parents who both attend PTA meetings. True? Yeah, very few, not many. But when you are known as a single parent, someone who's parenting alone, the likelihood that people will come and ask you, yeah, so how their papa now? Or, yeah, so how their mama now? The likelihood is higher. So the society, in every ramification, you attend ceremonies and people, look at you like a poor person, man or woman. She's taking care of those children all by themselves. Oh dear. So there is that perception of society. Then there's the perception of society as an effect on the child. Already the society thinks that it is impossible to successfully parent alone and the outcomes and have good outcomes in the children. That is a misconception as well. But we feed that misconception because we fly off the handle. We are emotionally unbalanced most of the time. We spend so much time looking backwards that we don't have enough time to look forwards and make a plan. So you must recognize at the very minimum these 3 dimensions. Perceptions from religion. So it doesn't matter what religion you are, the perception of a woman alone, it connotes, and I'm talking women now, men alone, in our society, you kind of can get away with it. I mean, it's very patriarchal. We know that. We're not going to argue that. But for the woman, it's really like, you see, she couldn't keep her home. Imagine what has happened to her. So that is deep. Cultural nuances, very, very deep. The societal pressure, very. These three form the image that the society has of you, whether you like it, whether it is true or not. And it forms, therefore, a kind of pressure on you. I want to tell you that these expectations from society are not yours to fulfill. Actually, I can go straight ahead and tell you that you will never fulfill them. You will never resolve them. I have been to a wedding, and the child was all grown up, where almost everybody was saying, see how he just did that. You see, a child should have a father in his life. It was shocking. Not one, not two. At a point, I said to my auntie, I said, this is really unbecoming. Why do we do this? This child, successful, doing well, getting married, and everything that he does today is going to be judged by the fact that he was raised by a single mother. So these factors are very, very heavy, and they can kill you. And I'll tell you how they can kill is by giving you emotional pressure. So I just want to talk quickly about some of the pressure that we have as people who are parenting alone. Guilt is the first one. You sit down and you ask yourself, did I do the right thing? Could I have done something else? Is there another decision I could have taken? Could I have managed this better? And so on and so forth. Guilt. It doesn't make people move on. In any case, the guilt actually stops them so much in their tracks that they continue to hold on to a place that they have left already. So guilt is one of the major challenges of parenting alone. Oh, and I mean, the other day, a friend's child was not feeling well, and the other parent had to keep asking, are you sure this didn't happen? Are you sure this didn't happen? Are you sure? So they're sitting on a high horse somewhere, and they're thinking that, look, you said you wanted to do this alone, so now you're doing it alone. No, so no complaints. Please go ahead. So guilt is there. Pain is real. I can tell you for a fact, because I felt that actual physical pain that comes from when someone has betrayed you. Many people who are parenting alone have not dealt with the pain that they feel about the situation that they find themselves in. Some of them are not so pained about what has happened. They are pained that their children are growing up in single parent households. And this can be really, really deep for them. Regret is another one. Many times, people who are parenting alone have, is that they're unsure that the decision that they have taken is the best possible decision. So they're wondering if, at which point in time they could have taken a different decision. And so because it makes them unsure of themselves. And by the time you're unsure of yourself, after a while, when you're so unsure of yourself, it starts to affect your self-esteem. It starts to affect your capability to cope with the challenges around you. It starts to breed stress and many other things. Unforgiveness is another really major one. And when we don't forgive, I don't know any other way to say it. You allow the object of your unforgiveness to continually control you. I don't know how else to say this. If you don't forgive, then that object, that person, that individual, that the whatever situation, that thing that you haven't forgiven is wielding a stick over you. And it's like driving you in a car. You're just sitting in it and it's just driving you. Unforgiveness is a killer. You have to move away from it. And unforgiveness breeds bitterness. So we know these things. I just want to bring it to the fore so that we can address it, together while we're here. Bitterness I have met women, again, I talk about women more because I work with women. My Whetstone coaching is focused on women. I have met women in their 60s who are bitter about something that happened 30 years ago. Look, every participant in the event has moved on. Their lives are going well, and this woman is ill. She is suffering because she is bitter about something that happened 30 years ago. Note that if you don't deal with bitterness and if you don't replace it, you will live with it and it will kill you. And I am talking about physical death. I am not talking about some kind of spiritual. I am talking about physical death. Bitterness means that you have negative hormones coursing through your body every day. The person or image or thing or item or situation that is making you bitter is well past. It's well in the past. And you are carrying it with you. You are dragging it along with you. The last thing I really need to talk about is anger. Some of us feel so justified in our anger that, again, so everything that is at the bottom, unforgiveness, bitterness, anger, they're all like your key. The key to the car that is carrying you is in the hands of the other person. That person that you think, no, this person can never, no, this person cannot control me. No, not. They are exactly the ones controlling you. Because when they put it in gear, you just continue. And then sometimes they take it out of gear and you coast. So you're just a guest sitting inside a vehicle and there's nothing you can do about it. Be careful with unforgiveness, with bitterness, and with anger. You really, really need to move on from those experiences. The next thing I want to really, really talk about is how your health and wellness. So many people don't know that if you're parenting alone, the effect of your illness on your child is higher than when you're parenting as two. When there are two parents, when you're in a two-parent household, the child already feels that they are stuck with one parent. When that parent is always having headache, today, my leg, come and help me massage my arm. But, oh, I didn't sleep last night. You become a pity party. Then your child starts to live in perpetual fear because if something were to happen to you, the child cannot move. So I want to talk a little bit also about the things that can impair your wellness, such that you can, don't worry, you cannot even be one parent. So we're not going to start the conversation of you being two parents, like I'm father and mother, I'm father and mother. We actually take pride in it. I've been the father and the mother for this. It's not true. I mean, on Father's Day, women were wishing themselves happy Father's Day. Really? That is really petty. Sorry, some people will come at me for this one, but I'm also co-parenting right now, parenting alone. So you are not the father. You're not the father. So let's talk about emotional issues. So the buckets of emotional issues we usually think about: anger, bitterness, fear, blah, 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 blah. Now, I want to talk about emotional issues as a concept. Because your emotions are all over the place, anybody can just do one thing and you snap. You are so close to snapping that you cannot parent well because you are parenting under negative emotions. The aura that surrounds you is negative. Your children are growing up in a very painful negative environment. Then you wonder why they're not confident. You wonder why they stop doing well in school. You wonder why they don't talk to anybody. You say these things. I hear a lot of single parents. They say these things about the children without even realizing their own effect. The fact that they are the ones, they're the precursors for these events. They don't know it. But this is what it is. So emotional issues are a major challenge in parenting alone. You have to recognize that whatever buckets of emotional issues you are transferring to your children, they are impairing their growth. You will not be able to move on because you are also impaired, seriously impaired in your capacity to move. The other thing that really affects parenting alone is self-esteem challenges. Many times, because you think you have the emotional issues were not dealt with, you feel a sense that you have failed, and so you ask yourself whether you can do any other thing right. You know, our society thinks that marriage is an achievement, and so if you've been unfortunate and your marriage hasn't worked out, then it seems to everybody that you are a failure. And they would probably say it to your face if you are in one of those circles where they say it as it is, as they say. Self-esteem challenges start. You start to feel less, and then it starts to affect you in the workplace. It starts to affect you in your business. So think about it now. You are parenting alone. Your parents are dependent, or your children, pardon me. Your children expect that you are standing for them and you have the confidence to breed them as well. You have confidence to transfer into them. And there you are, totally lost, not sure about yourself, constantly second guessing yourself in the presence of the children. So your health and your wellness will become impaired. What about fear? I've met people who are parenting alone, who give parenting alone as the excuse for imprisoning their children. Their children cannot participate in any sport. Their children cannot go anywhere because the other parent has said, oh, if anything happens to the kids, you take responsibility. And you don't think that something could still happen to the kids if you're together. I still remember when my youngest was, I think he was 6. We were all in the house. He was riding his bicycle outside where they normally ride bicycles, and somehow he tripped and fell over and lost his front teeth. They were milk teeth, but it was on a Sunday and it was extremely traumatic. We had to find our dentist to come and open his surgery, and then they had to pick the pieces of those. It was so, so traumatic. His mouth was swollen for, I don't know, days. Now, we were both in the house. Both parents were in the house. And we were actually both around them. And he still fell. So cut yourself some slack. Allow the children to live. Do not stifle their creativity. Don't stifle their engagements. Don't stifle their social life because you don't want people to, okay, that's another one. No, people should not know that your daddy is not here. Oh. We just do as if we're normal. No, my neighbors don't even know that I'm a... So be careful about the things that fear makes you do. Be very careful. Instability is another one. So your children already need you to be stable, because economically, if you're not stable, it's really, really tough. It is really, really tough to take care of children alone if you're not stable. And if you're not stable, you cannot hold down a job, a business, you cannot improve on anything, you can't complete anything you start. There's so much instability that you cannot pass on life that is successful. So some of these challenges are the reasons why children who are raised in single parent households become challenged, or they suffer certain things. It's because of the challenges that they have with things like self-esteem, fear that was transferred, insecurity and instability, bitterness. Some parents will extend the challenge they have. Oh, this one is real. Look, guys, look, really. No. It is a no. Stop discussing the issues that you have with your spouse, with your children. It is not their business. 1, 2, they are not yet equipped to deal with. There's actually a module in the academy that I run where we break down this idea that you want your child to be your friend, and so you want to discuss with them, not to destroy their lives. They are innocent, just trying to make a living. They're just trying to cope with the challenge that they have already, with the fact that they are being raised in a single parent household. And then you now come and add on top the fact that the reason why I am here is because of that your father or that your mother, and she's irresponsible and she did that and this and that and that. Don't do it. Do not do it. If truly the other parent has offended so much, don't worry. As the children grow up, they will make their own judgments, and they are so entitled to their judgments. Please allow them to make their judgments. So we've talked a lot about what is what and it's supposed to be a master class. So let's talk now about what we should do. How can I move on? How can parenting alone be joyful? What do I need to do? The first thing that I want to talk about is the one that people don't like at all, at all, at all. Accept, 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 accept. I cannot say it enough. Accept what has happened to you. Take responsibility. It is so easy. All of us who are co-parenting, at some point you made a judgment call that that person is the person you will have a child with. Whatever comes out of that, your decision is your decision. Please don't, I don't know if it's our society or if it's just the way we are, but people just tend to think that um, it's only her. She has issues, loads of issues. I can't even live with her anymore. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, he's horrible. And then every time I say, but he was your choice. But she was your choice. You chose. People come at me and they're like, no, no, no. It wasn't like that at that time. It wasn't, okay, but when it turned like that, when it became like that, when things became challenging, when all these happened, what did you stand up and say, oh no, okay, we need to seek help now? You stayed there and watched the problem escalate. Some of you covered it up. I have people who would call me the day before and be crying and telling me about one challenge that they have that is really bad. The very next day, they will post that man on social media celebrating him. You're giving him mixed signals. Which one is it? You see the amazing father, the amazing husband, the amazing wife, the amazing mother. Is she the queen of your heart? Or are you trying to deal with issues and you really need to sit down and get help early enough before it becomes what it has become? Now, there are people who are parenting alone, not by choice, but because they lost the other spouse. If the other spouse is not there, then, I mean, when the other spouse passes away, of course, then there is really not much that you can do to not accept. The longer you tell yourself, this is not happening to me, this is not, some of us do it for years. No, it's not really happening to me. No, 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 I don't believe it. No. And then you stay in that place. It's like limbo, and the children can't move on. The children cannot. You see, when your children cannot move on, then you have really done them a disservice. So accept that you are parenting alone. You are parenting alone. Okay? You're parenting alone. Now, it doesn't mean you're going to parent alone all your life. It doesn't even mean you're not going to sort out this immediate one. It doesn't mean you won't find another spouse. Look, it's just a situation that you have found yourself in. Accept it. The second thing I want to say is reframe. So, when you've accepted that, okay, this is my situation right now. And in the academy, we do a module where we talk about what's your situation right now. Write it down, accept it, embrace it. It doesn't mean you like it. It doesn't mean you will shout it on the street up. You're not. You are just saying, this is where I am. Ground zero, as they say. From ground zero, this is how I want to plot my graph forward. But you have to find ground zero, and that's the reframing. Who do I need to be now in order to parent alone? Some of us who have been very extroverted will become introverted. Some of us who used to attend every celebration everywhere can no longer attend because our weekends need to be spent at home with the children. You will modify. That's the reframing. You will start to modify your choices, your life. You will start to modify in order for you to succeed as a person. Many of the things I have mentioned here will affect you individually, never mind your parenting. But when we bring it to the parenting, then you realize that there is no way with all those gaps, there's no way that you're going to be able to move forward. So accept. The second thing you did is reframe. Oh yeah, where am I now? What is happening to me? Okay, what do I need to do? Some of you will not buy wrappers for 4 years, and it's okay. Some of you will not go to drink with the boys anymore, and it's okay. This is the reframe that you need to do. The third thing you need to do is decide. You see, many of us are indecisive when it comes to shutting down relationships. If a relationship no longer serves you and you've taken the decision to separate, what do you want to do from there? Do you want to co-parent for a while? Do you want to go ahead and separate legally? I would not preach divorce because I always think that there's a recourse and people can take that recourse, but there are situations where divorce is the way, particularly when violence is involved. So you have to be careful. Excuse me. The next thing you need to do is act. Act, act, act. Do not just sit down. And this is very easy. And it's actually a sign when you can't cope. When you can't cope anymore, it's a sign. When you start to not do anything. I don't know if anybody understands what I'm talking about. Has it happened to you? You just wake up and you're listless. You just wake up and you're just staring. The weight of everything is so overwhelming that you can't move. You are stuck. You cannot afford to be stuck as a single parent, as someone who's parenting alone. And I can see everybody's like, preach it, preach it. Does anybody understand what I'm talking about? Let me go to the chat. Does anybody understand what I'm talking about? Who can relate with this? Where you just wake up and you don't even feel like waking up. You cover yourself, and you're like, I can't do this. Let me just imagine myself that I'm not here and nothing is happening. Please, put those fire emojis. Let me see if you've been there, if you understand what I'm talking about. Just share those emojis. Let me see that you understand what I'm talking about. You just wake up and you're just like, you don't know what to do. You are, you are stuck. So the fourth thing you need to do is act. Let me tell you, one of the ways you can act is to write your plans. Don't allow thank you, Evangel. Don't allow yourself get into the slump because it takes a lot to get out of it. Whatever you need to do to stay out of the slump, do it. Now, one of the things you need to do is act, is actually do something. What are you going to do? Some of you might need to attend courses and even change the course of your career. Some of you might need to pick up new skills because you want to make extra money. There are many things that you need to do, but the point is that you need to act. So moaning and calling everybody and complaining and reporting and all that, it doesn't help. It's not going to help you. You need to act forwards. Where are you going? The next thing you need to do is actually move. So you need to move. Yes, so the relationship ended and everything is so bad and so many bad things have been said and all that. Is that where you're going to stay? So some of you, you're acting, but you're still acting in that place. You need to actually move from that place. Move. Look, sometimes you need to sit down and say, you see this person, this my former spouse, this is how much they know. This is how they know to behave. They do not know any better. And if I expect them to do any better, then I will continue to be disappointed and I will not be able to move forward. So you need to move. And in moving, you need to let go. Now, letting go is a totally different kettle of fish, and it can be really, really challenging, the process of letting go. You do need a counselor. Don't try to do letting go alone, because most of the time we say we let go, but we didn't actually let go. And so I had a client who got the announcement that his wife was getting married again, and he called and he was so angry, and it can be really painful. And then I said to him, you didn't let go. You moved, but you didn't let go. So you held on. So you can't afford to hold on. And these are emotional journeys that you really need to travel. The last thing I want to tell you is that you need to build hope in your children and yourself. Many times, because the society, these pressures, there's even no time to think. You are it's as if you're constantly running. You can't, one mother was telling me one day, it's like I can't close my eyes and sleep, coach. I can't sleep, coach. Because I close my eyes and I start thinking of all the things that need to happen. And I get that. I have been there. However, building hope means understanding that I am here today, but I will not be here tomorrow. There is hope because they say where there's life, there's hope. And so I will grab hope and I will run with it. And that is how I will run. Now, the last stage of the academy that we run, we actually start to work on where our children are. Because when you now realize, when you've walked through your challenges and you've identified all the challenges and all the problems and all your own parenting problems that have created the challenges you have, you suddenly look at your kids and you start thinking, oh my goodness, look at what I've done. How can I change this? And so we start to explore the models, psychological models, the psychosocial theory, the theory of attachment, all those theories, psychodynamic theory. So you understand where your children are and you know what you need to do to plug in so you can still connect with them where they are at that point in time. And it is important that we close on that note that having dealt with yourself, the seeds you've planted, the things you've done, the things that have happened have created something. You now need to go back to those children, to those situations, and you need to resolve those situations. And on that note, the masterclass is asking for questions. Where are the questions? Wendy, are you still there? Questions, questions, questions. Somebody.
Yes, I'm here,
Thank
ma'am. Thank
you.
you for being here. I saw that at some point, so some people got, people froze. That's why I sent that chat. Are we still here? I realized that people were not talking anymore. They were, a bit taken aback. Did we flutter you guys a bit? Did you have to cry or something? I usually
I'm
say that
sorry.
Tayo had a penchant to make people cry. The few times I've been in her
I
class,
remember that, Wendy.
she
Oh
actually
my
finishes
goodness.
and people start crying and feeling very sober and all of that. I hope you're not about to cry. But that was really so profound. Thank you so much, ma'am. There was a lot of learning, and if we can begin to view a lot of these learnings from this point, then I'm sure that we'll be able to parent better people. I know there was something while I had attended one of your courses in the Single Parenting Academy where you were teaching on how because parents, there's a probability the parenting failure in single parenting is high, and you were saying that the probability, all right, the probability of that was because these things are there, and because we're not really thinking, and because parenting quality is low, then it
Yes.
ends up happening. So it ends up happening. So the statistics continue to grow. And
Yes.
because there's really no support, single parents are not even thinking that, so now that I'm going to become a single parent, I need to learn.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that's actually our biggest problem. So if we can begin to look at, oh, now I'm going to be a single parent, then I need to begin to learn, what do I do? How do I do it? There's a question here. It says, what do you do to forget the disappointment? Pamela is asking, ma'am.
I don't know about forget. The word might not be forget. It is more, what do we do? Engage with the disappointment. So for many of us, and I'm going to talk as a psychologist now. For many of us, the disappointment is like a human being. We actually give it a lot of human attributes. We pamper it, so to speak. So when you ask what do we do to forget the disappointment, um, memory is a very deep thing, and we will always remember our lives and the things that have happened. Rather, it's what can we do to be able to engage with it in a way that we can accept it. It doesn't mean we like it. It doesn't mean it's a nice thing. It just means we've accepted this has happened. What you need to do is you need therapy. You will need some therapy. to be able to, move on with that. Because disappointment comes in different ways. For some people, it's betrayal. For some people, it's abandonment. For some, and it's all disappointment. Disappointment is a huge bucket, and all these things are in.
Okay, we have another question here that says that what suggestions will you give to a mom whose spouse is involved but digital due to living in another country? I think I've heard Coach Itayo say that that is also single parenting.
It is. You're parenting alone.
People
You're
don't
parent,
like to hear it. The first time
you're
I heard it,
parenting
I
alone.
was like, wow.
The design, the design for parenting is that there are two parents in a home. The
Yes.
home is a cocoon. Let me call it that. When a
Mm,
butterfly, when a chrysalis is in a cocoon, it has all the nutrients it needs inside that cocoon. By the time it
mm,
emerges as a butterfly, it is beautiful, but that wasn't what entered into the cocoon. So a
mm,
home is a cocoon. A cocoon cannot have half cocoon. The butterfly will never come. So unfortunately, digital parenting is not parenting. I know that things have changed and we are where we are today, but as much as possible, as much time as possible must be spent in parenting. Look, we say we're doing things for the children. These children, when they grow, they will not remember that you made those sacrifices for them. They will not
mm,
remember. I tell people that, look, your children can drink Gary. They have no problem with drinking Gary. You are the one that has a problem with drinking Gary. Your children
mhm,
are okay drinking Gary. In fact, the other day I came back at night and I was really I was tired, and I said to my 12-year-old, we're drinking Gary tonight. Come and see the speed he went to carry the bottle of granuts and everything. Then he asked me, should I make something? I said, no, no, no. We're actually drinking Gary. We drank the Gary and went to sleep. So you see,
mm,
some of the things we say, oh, we're working hard so that our children can have this and that and that. I've told a parent before, if it's too hard, homeschool your children. You're a graduate, buy the textbooks and homeschool your children for a period. Since you cannot afford school fees, homeschool your children. Manage yourself for that period so that you can catch
mm.
up again. So life is about catching up, catching up, catching up, catching up. So no, parents should be together, should be together.
All right, thank you so much. And I know that, like I said, the first time that I heard Coach say something about parents, because we have a lot of parents who are not, living together. I remember at some point I was supposed to be in England to do a master's course, and while my husband is here. And then he said to me, which do you want to decide? You want to you know that it's going to be you parenting alone or me parenting alone. So which is which? At that point, it dawned on me that actually, those decisions were actually parenting alone. But a lot of the times we don't say. And if you must, I think the point is, are there cases where you must or you need to, not let me not use must. There are times where we need to make choices, career choices, life choices that need us to be alone. But I think the major factor is that we need to learn what to do in those situations.
You see, um, there are situations where, and I'm hesitating because in my own family, when my father was going on sabbatical, my father was a professor, is a professor. When he was going on sabbatical, his wife packed her bags and followed. She did not to send us, but she followed him. So we followed inevitably. I think we were just like, oh yeah, now if you want, or you want
Just
to stay,
becoming.
me and following my husband. It was just so. Many times we need to make that judgment whether truly there's no option, whether
Exactly.
there's no option. So in
Hmm.
many of the situations there is an option. In many of the situations there's an option.
Awesome. And like I like what you said about parenting. I said parents are we actually parent by choice. It's the children that do not have
Yes,
a choice, so much of
yes,
a choice. We actually have all the choices to make. We
yes,
can decide, what is important per time. Like someone shared at the fathers conference said the concept of essentialism. What is more essential in this
yes,
time more than the other? I think right now there are some decisions I can take, but I could have not taken them, the past 11 years, but I'm able to take them now. So we need to
exactly.
actually understand what is most important. Then before we even begin to look at the questions and begin to round up, we are also introducing to you the Single Parenting Academy course, where Coach Tayo had runs a full curriculum. This is like a joke. Trust me, I've attended one of those sessions and my mind was blown away, right? This is like a joke compared to whatever it is that happens at that academy. So, Coach, please, can you tell us, a bit about the academy, what it will cost? I've gotten Coach to also have mercy on us in the Intentional Parent Academy. With our power, we have been able to do a lot, to get her to agree on a lot. So, let her share with us what it entails, and then we'll also let you know what, how, and when this will hold.
So when the Single Parenting Academy started, it ran for 6 sessions, 6 classroom sessions with a lot of assignments, and it was it. I mean, I haven't seen any of the people that have attended here, but quite a number of people have attended, and it is actually work for
I
those.
think Nkechi was there.
Yes,
Nkechi's here.
Nkechi has attended. Yes, I don't know if I've not seen her here, but yes,
She's here.
Nkechi has attended. So yes, the academy is a lot of work, and it ends with a parenting plan, the single parenting plan. It takes you through where you're coming from, what parenting is. It helps you to realign your parenting, explains to you all the pillars of your emotional health, so that you can get it. Explains the concept of anchors and the need for your children to have anchors. It teaches about modeling. A lot of mothers, particularly, come and ask, okay, they say father figure. How do I find a father figure? So it teaches you about how to find father figures for your children, or how to find mother figures if you are a mother, and what you need to look at, and also social skills. And then it teaches the basics of the psychology, a little bit of the psychology of childhood development. So you understand the theories around attachment, the theories around attachment, the theories around your consciousness, the psychodynamic theories, and then the other psychological theories. I think we do Carl Jung as well. So we walk through the theory so you can identify where your children are, each child, where they are psychologically, where they are in other areas, and then where they are in terms of their thinking. And then by the time you go back, you're able to connect with them at their. So each child gets its own plan, and each child is supposed to now be followed up accordingly. So it's actually a lot of work. I mean, we've talked about this with the Intentional Parents Academy, and we said, well, can we run it over 4 days? Yes, we can. Over 4 days. But it's a lot of work. So I don't know, Wendy, maybe we can do it like every other day while they run the academy, because there's
Yeah.
work to be done after each session. You go home with an assignment, and you actually do
Okay.
the assignment in pairs. So there are two of
Okay.
you to pair you up with someone that does not know you, and you are able to run some of some of your thought processes there. The only reason you continue with them is because everybody around you doesn't want to tell you the truth.
I
But
know,
when
right?
someone does not know you, they don't owe you anything. You ask
Mm,
them a question, they are actually able to tell you the truth.
mm,
And so
mm,
we do a body system. So you do not suffer it alone. You don't go through
mm.
it alone. And many of the friends that have been made in that academy have gone on to continue to be friends just from the body system. So yes, yeah.
Yes, we have more questions. We're going to actually ask the questions. And then, so what is the cost? I know that Coach Ita started running this at, I think the last time it was 15,000 or so.
It was 15,000. Then you discounted for a lot of people, you remember?
Yes, yes.
Yes,
So
yes.
we're also trying to use our body to also get single parent to access. We don't have it. Like I said, you see that I like to bring you resource that will be beneficial to you. If I teach this, I'm going to be doing sharing book knowledge with you. And if I share book knowledge with you, there's a limitation of every book knowledge. No matter how much you have read, your experiences, all right? I haven't worked with so many single parents. I've worked with so many parents, all right, but not on the single parenting, angle and all of that. And it's an area that, I got interested in, and of course, an area that we decided to collaborate with someone who runs it, in this way to be able to actually bring you a lot of resources and value and all of that. Abigail said I cried. Oh, so sorry about that. You see,
I'm so
me someone
sorry.
cry. All right. So we got the single parenting academy to actually give every parent in coming from TIP for 10,000 naira. Right, ma? Did I bully you?
It's fine. It's like the bullying. I'm used to it, Wendy.
so
But I
so
mean, we supported the academy when it first started. So yes, yes, we're giving this discount to
thank,
the
thank you so much, man. I just bullied her on screen. I don't think so that's the only way to actually do this. All right. So you would want to actually get into that system. Coach Eita does a lot of good work when it comes to single parenting. And if you're a single parent, you're parenting alone. You have a father who lives in Australia and you live in Nigeria. It's for the want of a better nation to use anyway. All right. So I know that that's not the most popular. Of course, we have the US, we have UK, and all of that, and all of the rest. Then you need this class. Trust me. If there's anything, if you've ever gotten value in anything that we've done, then this is me saying that you actually need to be part of this class. All right. This class takes off in July. It takes off in July. It takes off in July. Between July. I think it's July. Yes, July the 6th. It starts on July 6th. So we would, all the other details, coach will share it with you. But there's something. This discounted offer will only be available because I know that I can't twist her hand for so long. It will only be available for 7 days from now. And this is still me announcing this without even talking to her. So she's here. She knows I haven't spoken to her about it. I'm just bullying her because I know that right here she's not going to say, no, I don't agree. If I talk to her now outside of this session, she will say, no, 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 I don't agree. No, 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 it's not possible. So I'm putting her on the spot. She can see she's just laughing. Maybe she can beat me up when we're done, but it's fine. But right here, right now, that's what. So we're going to have that, access. You can put up, enroll for that class. We're going to share details with you on how to enroll right in the WhatsApp group. If you know someone who will be needing it, you can support another mother. I tell you something. 2 days ago, when we talked about the class on our Tuesday session, a friend of mine who lives in the US just said to me, I want to pay for 4 people. And she said, we didn't even announce the cost. And I said, I'm going to find out the cost and then I'm going to talk to you. She sent some money and said, I would want you to gift, 4, single parents. Some I know, and then she gave me some names and all of that. So if you are a parent who is parenting together, gift a single parent with this. It will make our world better. It will make our world better. All right. There was a question right on the community. Somebody said, what is the best move for a single parent to make towards immediate family who keeps dragging her back with hurting words, even though they actually assist once in a while in taking care of the children? What do you advise?
Because our society glorifies the extended family, even though things have changed and your extended family is not what it used to be, unfortunately, at least in many cases, maybe not in all. People must still take a stand for who they are. So I hear a lot of people say, oh, it's because my family said this, my family. Sometimes it's because of the fear of taking responsibility. You have to be able to put your foot down, single parent or not. You're an adult that has a child, so you have a responsibility for another human being. So there's no way that you are going to that you can't abdicate that responsibility and say, oh, the parents were the ones or the immediate family were the ones. Tell your immediate family what you want. So it's part of I said something about being unstable. It's part of what happens when you are parenting alone. You don't want people to think that you are taking all the decisions by yourself. because they say, oh, there's no man there or there's no woman, you're doing this alone. But at some point, you have to take responsibility and say, yes, I'll make my mistakes, but I will learn from my mistakes and move on. But you cannot have immediate family meddling in your parenting. Parenting is very key. Parenting is very important. Very, very important.
All right. Thank you so much. I can see some questions here. Someone is asking, is it online? Yes, all our courses, collaborations, all of it happen online. Okay. So you're going to be having access to this class online. Like I said, we're going to be sharing, all of this. Let me go further to make an extra offer to you, because I really want you to get into this class. If you get into this class, if you make payment to get into this class in 24 hours, if you're going to make payment in 24 hours, you get a further 10% discount. If you're going to make payment in 24 hours, this is only for people who make payment in 24 hours. That discount will be that discount will be on us. So we're also going to share our account for you to share. We're going to remit to the Single Parenting Academy what it is that we've told them, but that discount will be on us. We will be paying it. That's if you are getting into the class today. All right. Someone is asking that I'm parenting alone. Can you reduce the price of the course to 5K? Chika, unfortunately, this is the best that can be done. This course is already for 15K, and we have already gotten the academy to actually do this. Someone is asking, what is the right time for you to remarry?
When you finished healing. Definitely not before. Let me give you some tips on how you know that you have healed. You can sit with the other parent and have a conversation with a cup of juice and gist and laugh. So you have healed. You have accepted that this person is no longer in your life. Before you can do that, it takes quite a journey. Don't be in a hurry, because hurting people hurt other people. What usually happens when you go into the next relationship is that you will start questioning everything the person is doing because of where you're coming from. So even when the person is being honest and sincere, you will judge them based on your experience. And this is not about you. This is just how human beings have been created. God created us to have memory so that something will not hurt us a second time. But when that memory now becomes an albatross to you, you have to really deal with it. So there's no time frame. It's just that you need to know that you have healed, one. Two, you need to check that the person you are marrying is not exactly like the person you left. Because sometimes people now want to replace the person with the same person. And unfortunately, they didn't grow up in the same place. They were not born by the same parents. So they might act alike, but they're not the same people. So you now get disappointed when you get in, because you'll be like, oh dear, what has happened here? Did I do this again? And so many people that are divorced the first time get divorced the second time. There's actually a very high probability
statistics,
time to be divorced the second time. Yes.
All right. Somebody is asking, how can I explain it to the child about his dad? I really don't quite get it.
Okay, so I had this situation. I got pregnant at 19 and had a child, and he never saw his dad until he was 10. And in that period, he went to school, we participated. And I find that we are the ones that create the strangeness about it. It was just, for me, matter of fact, from when he was born, I used to tell him, your father lives far away. He is not here. He's not participating in our lives. One day you will meet him. And there's nothing else I need to say. I don't know what's happening with him. I cannot tell you what's happening with him, And the child, if you parent robustly, the child will be satisfied with, you don't need to tell story. The child will be satisfied with the fact that their father exists, but he's not a part of the family right now. And they will have good answers. So this is something that I need to do one-on-one, because it's case by case basis. They will have the right answers for their classmates and so on. And if you do it confidently, they will be confident as well, and they will be fine. They are different from the others. That's it. They're different. You're never going to, don't try to tell them that they're the same. They are different, and they're different because you made a choice. So they have
All
to
right, somebody's asking how you can work on your self-esteem. We have a session on masterclass on self-esteem. I think we would need to, do that. I was even,
Okay,
we're
I did a
hoping to bring
masterclass,
you.
Abi, Wendy. It was me.
Yes, yes,
Oh,
we're hoping to bring you for that masterclass. Yes.
I remember. I did a master. So you'd have to work. It's actually work. It's not. You need help. It's not something you do on your own. You need help. You need guidance. You need to check what is the problem. What's the real challenge? So lack of self-esteem or low self-esteem has its roots. You need to find the roots, and you find the roots if you work with a therapist. You find the roots, and then you deal with it, and you'll be able to move on.
All right, somebody's asking, well, my children are very attached to their father. I've tried getting him involved to no avail. What do I do? How do I make my children know that daddy can't be with us?
The question is kind of tricky. So some of these questions I
Exactly.
need to I need to deal with them one on one.
Personally.
Yes, personally, because when you say your kids are attached to their dad, it's fine. When they see him, let them enjoy his. You don't need to say anything to them.
Mm-mm.
When he shows up, let them enjoy it. When he's not around, he's not around. If they want to call him
Mm.
on the phone, you explain to them, okay, have you already told him you're calling at this time? You ease their disappointment.
Mm.
Did you tell him you're calling and say, okay, the children are going to call you at 6 p.m.? You go on the side and tell him the children are going to call you at 6 p.m. Is this okay with you? You are trying to build your children. Forget him, forget what he feels. Forget right now, don't think about him. Just think about the kids and the experience you want to build with them, and try and straddle in a fair manner so that your children can have as much access as they need, and it will be at his convenience. And I'm sorry it sounds like that, but what you're trying to do, you need to focus on what you're trying to do, what we're trying to achieve. That's the move now. What we're trying to achieve, let's focus on it and let's move there. What we're trying to achieve is for the children to spend time with their father. If he says he's on the moon and he can ship them to the moon, let them go. But like I said, that question, I need to understand the context with which you say he can't be. What's the context with which you say he's not available, or you have tried to get him involved to no avail?
Alrighty. Someone is asking if they can be part of this class even though they are not really parenting alone. I guess you can. When I joined, listened to it, I'm also going to be there again. So it's not. It can help you. It can also help you when you are even parenting, together. It's knowledge, and it could help you. How can you get into the Single Parenting Academy? Chika, we're going to share all the details that you will need. All right, all the details that you would need to be able to get into the academy. We will share it right in the WhatsApp system. How can I get counseling? Coach Itayo, we have shared Coach Itayo. Permission, Ma, can we share your contacts to our
Please do.
audience?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So we have shared Coach Itayo, her contact on the WhatsApp community. We have about 153 parents who registered for this masterclass. So we're hoping that you will be contacting her directly. If you have questions, please, you can contact her directly. I would also share for all of you that are making registrations from the Intentional Parent Academy. You would pay through us, and then we would pay the academy from us, so that we also are able to know who is coming from us and who is not, because this is a special discount from us. We're not we do not have the right to discount for other people. This discount is only specifically for people that are here,
There's a
watching this.
comment there. There's a comment there
Yes.
when if a child is a product of rape and already a teen, how do I
Oh wow.
explain?
Okay.
This person should please talk to me. This person should please call me.
Okay. Susie, please call Coach Itayo. Please talk to her. There's so many of the questions I believe will be better handled at the
In
academy.
academy, yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
trust me, they are not questions that you just want to throw. Many of these questions are
Because
personal.
they're
They
very,
are
yes, they're
very
very specific.
personal.
Yes,
Exactly.
You can't
So
have
you
a
need to
generic
consider
answer.
exactly that there's no generic answer. Which is why I said that the single parenting itself is something, all right. So we need to actually work on that, right? Or should we, coach? I'm thinking that maybe parents should register directly to you and use a code and just put TIP with the code. Maybe that helps us. That's what we will do. Yes,
Okay,
that helps us.
no
That helps
problem.
us a lot. So with the code TIP, please, if you're making payment with the account, to the account that we're going to share, please put the code TIP. If you don't and they bounce your payment, please don't come back to me because I will not answer. I will not have the capacity to answer anymore. All right, so that instead of us collecting payment and then remitting, so let's do that. We'll with the code TIP discount, and that will help us. Remember that you're paying in 24 hours. You get a discount, a further discount to actually be able to pay 9,000 instead of 10,000. And if you're paying within 1 week, then you need to make a payment of that 10,000 naira. Remember that this is going to be facilitated by the Single Parenting Academy. It's going to be facilitated by Coach herself. All right, we're all spectators. I'm going to be coming to class like you as well. As you're coming, we come with our book and our paper, and we'll join you. All right. So if you have further questions, you can reach out to Coach Itayo straight up. In her DM, we have shared her business account with you. Coach Itayo will share a lot of other resources that she has in her disposal. She uses to work. All right, it's not our place. Please don't come back to us. We do not have single parenting, whatever. Please, the ones we have given you. All right, so that you can also begin to learn what to do for more and more. If you're here and this masterclass was valuable to you, let me see you share the fire emoji. Let me see you click the like button. Give us a thumbs up as you're watching this conversation. And let me see you rave over Coach Itayo, because that's what we have. She shared these all three. She agreed to come here. When I approached her, I said, we need an understanding of what single parenting is in itself. So we're not just sharing in a vacuum, please. And we also want to help parents who are single. We want to really be of help. We do not have the tools to actually be of help to them. If you can come in, collaborate with us to be able to offer this help to single parents, we will be very glad. And she did this wholeheartedly at cost. And hey, we don't take that for granted, because this is something that if we're going to pay, I don't want to tell you how much coaches charge on sessions like this. I'm going to reserve that information, all right, for ourselves. It's okay, but just know that someone has paid a price. I like to say that there's nothing that is free. Nothing in this life is free. Nothing. Somebody paid for you to be here, and you must appreciate that fact that TIP, Coach Itayo, Whetstone coaching, has taken the pain to actually pay the cost for you to be here. Trust me, to use a paid StreamYard cost money. Trust me, to have Coach Itayo in the studio cost money. This is more than an hour. Trust me, to have me talking at everybody in my team knows that I usually wouldn't do sessions in the night. I come in, I shut down at 5 and all of that. It costs something. It's costing me something. It's costing every single one of us something. All right, so let's put this in use. Let it be useful to you. So if it's useful to you, then you make our time, our cost, you make it valuable. And remember, I hope you took screenshots so that you're going to share both on our academy and both also on our Facebook community, and also tag us on Instagram. Make some noise. Tell people there is knowledge out there for single parents, people who are parenting alone. Thank you so much again and again for being here. Coach Itayo, can you tell us again what will be your last words with parents in this space?
I want to say that it is possible for you to successfully parent alone, but it will take a lot of work, and you have to be willing to put in the work. That child that I parented alone for almost 12 years, today is a 30-year-old, is almost 30, is going to be 30 in July. It's a
Oh,
30-year-old
wow.
commercial pilot, flies across a continent, you know, is living well, he's doing well, very balanced. And sometimes I look back and there was many sacrifices that I had to make at the time. So I just want to encourage you that it can be successful, but you need to be ready to do the work and let go of the pain. Just let go of the pain. Let go.
Awesome. Thank you so much again, Coach Eyitayo, your team of the Whetstone Life Coaching Academy, and also Coach Eyitayo launches, you runs a community for women called Inspire Women Now. You can find her. And she also runs a Regenerate program for women as well. Regenerate is a program where she gives back, where she runs a biblical based coaching for women specifically, not men. No man is there. All right. So if you're a woman, you would want to, contact Coach Tayo. Trust me, when I say she has a wealth of knowledge, you can bet. All right, you can bet. All right, it's something that you would want to, tap into. Thank you so much again, Ma, for being here. Thank you to our audience for trusting that we can give you value, because it takes a lot of trust for you to be here, logged on with your data, listening in. It means that you trust that what we bring to you will be valuable to you. And we do not take that for granted. Thank you again and again for trusting us, even on your journey as a parent generally, right? Our goal is that at the end of the day, that we see you successful. It's been a long day. It's been an amazing day as well. It's been a day filled with so much. And for us in the academy, it's been so much of back-to-back activities in the day. And it's actually a day that I'm going to live to remember, because one of those days that one of those nice things happened to you. Thank you again to everybody who joined us this evening. And remember to take screenshots of the most aha moment of this conversation. You can catch replay at your time, and also, just come share with every other single parent that you know. Right? So let me see those fire emojis right in the comment section as we begin to wind up. Thank you so much, ma'am, and do have a good evening.
Good night, everyone.
All right. All righty. So good night, everybody. Thank you for being here. And see you again at another masterclass. Good night.